Mr. Ravichandran D, who is associated as a senior manager for the product management at Mesa Cutting Systems India Private Limited. Coming with a mechanical engineering background, Mr. Ravichandran is active in new product development with professional experience of about 3 decades in the machine tools, automation, and thermal cutting industry. Today, Mr. Ravichandran will discuss material handling and automation. So, delegates, let's welcome Mr. Ravichandran.
Today, I'll just talk about material handling and process automation on the thermal cutting industry. I'm basically from the thermal cutting industry, so my examples will be typically from the thermal cutting industry, but still that can be taken up as a general statement across the industry. Okay, so now the demand of quality goods is too high, and it cannot be really possible for being manufactured at the old way method of manufacturing, which involves a lot of manual labor, manual monitoring. So if you want to have really high productivity, then you have to have more automation in your systems, either be it process automation, or it can be automation on your feeding the machine, feeding the machines, and like what our friend Mr. Shrikant explained, like on the logistics also. So it's like more of automation which can help the industry to achieve higher productivity and more reliable production. It's like everything goes hand in hand. Like and right now industry is also looking at a lot of cost-cutting measures. Not cost-cutting measures. I don't mean it as cutting down people. It's not like that. Like it's bringing down the cost of production and cost of the whole system getting organized. So it's like if you want to have a high level of productivity, it needs process engineering systems, very good process engineering systems, and automated and machine manufacturing. And I would like to linger upon the third one, industrial automation. Industrial automation is aiding the automated manufacturing. It's like feeding the machines by material handling systems, and then the monitoring of the process by digital automation. So these two aspects greatly enhance the productivity, and also it gives it brings out agile manufacturing system. So it's like it reduces manual labor inputs, so decreases cost, increases productivity, and then production becomes more consistent. And when you have a digital process automation, there's more transparency in the whole production system. So it's like you can have real-time monitoring, and you can have a well advanced scheduling of your process, and also you can get back data and check out whether it's actually happening or not. And if there is any discrepancy or deviation from the actual plan, that will really, the process will give you pop-up information, so that you will know right at that moment of time that that's the deviation which is occurring. And so it will help increase the productivity. Okay, so let's talk about these two things, aspects, in two different ways. One is material handling and one is in process automation. Okay, so if you want to have material handling, like what are the thoughts that go into this industry which can aid to material handling system. So if you want to look at how can I increase productivity, so it's like you don't have to wait for people to load the machines, or because manual labor is not efficient, right from the morning till evening. If you take up, the efficiency will be high in the morning and decreases at the end of the shift. So it goes on and on like the same way. And also manual labor, in days to come, there's a shortage of manual labor. So how do we increase productivity? So when you have an automated storage system and handling system, how do I increase the floor space utilization? How can I reduce the floor space to increase more manufacturing units at a given area? Okay, and then how to reduce the manual labor cost and handling cost, and how do I make the process more safer and reliable. So if you have a material handling system, I can ensure that I can really put forth that you can increase your production by 15% and reduce your storage area by at least around 40%, reduce manual labor by 80%, and which directly gives way for lower handling costs. And I would say when you have a material handling system feeding your machine and a process automation system, you can be rest assured that the operating zone or the manufacturing zone becomes a more safe and reliable area. And then increase, I will just breeze through this, improves flow of material, reduces stoppages of production machines, and so it increases productivity indirectly. So we at Mesa cutting systems have a series of material handling systems which are mainly for the plate handling, sheet metal handling of plate handling, because our industry is mainly into thermal cutting. Okay, we have like a basic system for the Asia Pacific region and for a premium system for the Europe and the Latin American countries, wherein you have more CE norms and CSA norms for the Canadian industry. And based on capacity, we can have a light material handling up to 12 mm and 25 mm or 40 mm. So plates of 5 tons can be moved in one single go. So these are some specifications which may take more of my time. I would like to just show you a video to just understand how a storage and a material handling system can be used in a thermal cutting industry. In this case, it can showcase a laser machine. So it's like you can have a forklift of or a crane loading the input material bundle, and then it can be stored vertically. When you store vertically, you can save up to 40 to 50% of your floor space. And when you are storing it, the whole system can be integrated into an ERP, which can ensure that your inventory is well accounted. So it is when you have the storage horizontal, that can be repeated multiple places for a single type of material. But here, when you do it on a vertical storage, like you have a defined storage system, the storage location, and you can have that integrated to a ERP system also, and thereby you're reducing it indirectly when you have when your whole inventory system is accountable, then your inventory goes down. So this is after the part is being cut into, plate is being cut into small parts. The unloader picks up the cut parts and drops it onto another platform or a conveyor or a movable cart, whatever way we can configure it. So the cut plates are being dropped in one go and the fresh plate is being loaded to the machine. So if it is, suppose if we don't have a material handling system, if many people would have witnessed this, they have to manually pick up all the parts one by one and manually load the fresh sheet. So that's a time-consuming effort, wherein the machine may wait for or may starve for material to be loaded. So this happens in matter of minutes. So this is one video which I think which has an explanation by itself, and we can have different types of options in the material handling. So if you can have a material machine with a storage system and a single loading and unloading, or a separate loader and unloader, which so that the time for loading the machine reduced by, and then you can have a storage system. You can have multiple machines being fed by one storage system. Suppose you have a like different types of machines and you don't need storage system, you can have a simple pick and load it on the machine, and the cut parts can be unloaded on a different place. And you can have a shuttle also, which can be used to segregate the cut parts away from the machine area, making it a safer zone. So these are like different types of material handling. This is not the way of doing it, because these are all highly configurable units. What we do is everything is modular, and you have to, based on your machine and based on the machine and storage systems and the process. This can be configured in many ways, and storage systems can be separate also. So this is to showcase that all the material handling systems are highly configurable and can be automated for the customer needs. So like these are highly configurable parts which can give you a direct result on the productivity. Then digital process automation. Why digital process automation? The point is you have typical manufacturing industry. There are many activities which are really repetitive and manual in nature. Like what's being cut. You want to know what's being cut. The operator notes it on a paper and passes it on to the supervisor. The supervisor feeds it onto the ERP system. All these are all manual. Okay, so how do I save these manual steps? Because it's just data. Data is management only. So if how do I stop this manual steps? And how do I plan it? And how do I ensure that my plan schedule is working or not? So these are these general questions, and based on priority, how I can shuffle the demand, and based on the demand, how I can shuffle the schedule, and if there is any problem, how I can find out how. Like if I just make a priority schedule, and if there is some discrepancy coming out of it, how will I know it? So all these should be automated, and when you have done all the planning in an automated way, and second, next thing is how do I know whether my machine is well utilized or not? Whether the machine is starving for material or for some other issue on the machine. Is the machine stopped, or is it running, or is it waiting for a maintenance issue? And what are the reasons for why it stands still? So if we don't have this information getting back to us in an automated way, there's no triggering manually. If everything happens in an automated way, so everybody has the information in their fingertips and in real time to know whether the production is happening as per plan, or you have an issue at any point of time, what type of issue it is. So all these can be automated, and this is what we call it as process automation. So expected benefits of these thoughts are automated process. Then if you have a bottleneck in the process, you should know it well in advance so that you will work towards it, and real-time feedback and high transparency and effective part and order control. So that's effective control of your process. All these are possible only by a digital process automation. So it's like when you automate it, you are giving an extra tool which can help you increase your productivity. So it's like it is defined using digital technology to automate process and your workflow of material. So workflow is not a defined manner, because each and every industry will have their own method of workflow, and if you can, and everything is configurable and for the industry. So this is just to show an overview of what we have. So normally in a production-based industry, these are the steps which go through a manufacturing process. There is order management, what is needed and for production, and then work preparation. Work preparation is either it can be a program preparation or tools preparation, and then the production planning, where the priority and the scheduling is done, and the machine operation, and then the business analysis, right? Whether the schedule is adhered to, or if there is any deviation, or if the process is what has happened, is it foolproof, or it is acceptable, or is there any deviation in the output component? That type of business analysis. So if all these operations, like major 5 operations, are automized, then the process is automized. And for that, at Mesa Cutting Systems, we have the following tools. Like when the demand is created from an ERP system, and we have and the program is done by an OmniVim program. This mainly for a plate cutting type of industry. We have got the OmniFab ERP Connect, which takes up data from the ERP system and converts it into parts of different thickness, different material, and then gives it out to the programmer, who can do the programming in the OmniVim testing software. And then comes an aided tool wherein if suppose you are going to quote as parts. So it gives out the quote details like material sizes, weight, and uh, process cost, and what gas or consumable the process needs. The OmniFab job management, which schedules the job, and then the PDZ means whatever job is done on the machine is automatically fed back to the ERP system also. And the third one is the insight, which gives real-time information on the machine utilization, and if it is working properly or if there is an ideal time, what type of effect, what type of reason is the cause for the ideal time. So this type of real-time data can be available. So this is all about process automation. Thanks.